everyone, this is Kevin Gianni and
Marie Gianni.
And today is Wednesday. We're in the kitchen and today we're going to show you how to sprout in a jar.
Woohoo!
So one of our goals when we first got into the RV was to actually have a little garden. And so we waited a year to kind of figure out how the RV works. And so now this year what we're going to do is we're going to be sprouting. We're actually turning this area right over here into a RV garden. And we actually have turned this area over here into our fermenting station.
So today we're going to talk about sprouts. And sprouts are they're so nutrient dense. They are so inexpensive when you're doing it on your own. And it's a great way to really get those greens in. It's a great way to get those nutrients in. So I've started with radish sprouts and broccoli sprouts and alfalfa. I think we have two different radish seeds and alfalfa, but I'll show you how we do it.
Great. So what do we need?
So we need
organic seeds.
Organic seeds, yep. We just got these at an organic mart. You can get them online, I'm sure. We just got them at a local organic store. You need glass ball jars. You can use nut milk bags or those hemp bags. I've done that before at home, and they kind of got moldy on me, so I didn't do it very well. But you can use these glass jars. You can even just use, if you have a bigger colander or mesh drain, you can even just do it right in here and over a bowl. But that wasn't going to work for us being in the RV, sitting out on the countertop. It could make a mess. So.
And since we're moving as well.
Since we're moving, so I'm very excited to show you what a little invention is.
So let me show you how to how to make a sprouting jar out of the regular ball jar you get at the grocery store right now.
Cool.
All right, so let me show you how you can make a mesh top from one of these ball jars. So you get the canning jars from the grocery store, and we got this from the Winn-Dixie. And they come with these flat tops, but this isn't going to be good enough for sprouting because it'll just kind of start to ferment in there, and it'll get some mold, and it'll be too damp. So it's not what we want. So ideally, we want something that has mesh. So when you put the seeds and you drop it down like this, the water will drain out. So what we're going to do is, because I used to work at a hardware store, I know that we have access to just mesh screening. And we bought this whole roll here for like $6. And if you went online, you can actually order these ball jar tops. If you go online, they're going to be, you're going to pay for shipping. You're going to pay for, put it together. And shipping is probably going to cost you about $5. And you can just buy this for $5 here, and you can make them yourself. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy here. I probably should have cut this smaller, but we're just going to trace around the outside with a knife. And any old knife, any sort of bench knife, will be able to cut through this screening. So I remember when I used to make screens or re-screen doors for the hardware store, we would just use a knife like this and just cut through. And then when you're done, you can just kind of, you might not cut all the way through on all the pieces, all the sides. Just got to pull these guys out. And if you're using the metal screening, it is pretty sharp, so you might want to wear gloves. And there you go. And then what you're going to do is this. You have your screen. It's real simple. You're just going to push it in the top like this. You don't have to worry about being too exact, because when you actually twist it on, it's going to give it its own little form. So just give it a good little twist. And there you go. You've just made your own little ball jar top, sprouting top. And then when you take it off, if you did it right, it'll stay in there too. So you won't have to worry about it popping out, because you can see how it's a little concave. If it's concave, it doesn't matter. You can have a concave like this, you can have a concave like that. But as long as it is allowed to breathe, you're going to be all right.
When you start the sprouts, you need to soak the seeds. Mostly the seeds need to be soaked 6 to 12 hours. Normally the package will say right on it, whatever you're sprouting. These broccoli sprouts said about 8 to 12 hours. So we soak them overnight.
And how many tablespoons do you put into this ball jar here?
2 tablespoons.
Okay.
It's a little challenging getting.
And why 2 tablespoons?
Because you don't want to put a whole lot in there, because when they actually grow, they grow a lot, and it's going to expand, and then there's just not going to be enough room in the jar for them to actually expand.
And it also could get
and it could get moldy. And there's one.
It's not exact science.
No, 2.
All right.
To soak them, instead of using regular water, we're going to use a mixture of the ocean-grown solution. Using the ocean grown, we're really excited about that because it's really going to give our sprouts so many minerals, and we're all needing to mineralize ourselves. You know, unfortunately now with the food that we're getting, either from the grocery store, or even some of your farmers markets, they might not be as nutrient dense as they could be. So whatever you
Highly
can do,
mineralized here.
yeah, whatever you can do at home to help that, go for it.
All right, so let me show you how to mix this stuff up right now. Okay, now that we have our sprouting lids ready, what we're going to do is we're going to mix the ocean-grown solution. We're going to use this to soak our seeds, and we're going to use them to rinse them on a regular basis. It's 100-to-1 ratio, so this gallon is going to last a really, really long time. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix it here in this ball jar, here, and the ball jar is 800 milliliters. So for every 100 milliliters, there's 1 milliliter of ocean-grown, and a quarter teaspoon is actually 1 milliliter. So I'm going to use this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the ocean-grown solution here. Comes with a little red top here. Pop this guy off. And then I'm just going to, once I take the top off, I'm just going to dip this guy in here. So I'm going to do 8 of these. So that's 2. And 1 for good luck. And then we're just going to fill it up with water. All right, there we go. We're ready to sprout.
Cool. So freshly mixed up ocean grown, and all you want to do is you just need a little bit in there. That's probably about enough.
Just to cover them?
Just to cover them, yeah. And you might want to mix them around a little bit so you make sure that they're all wet and they're not clumped together. And then you cover it and you let that soak for about 8 hours.
Okay.
Okay, so these have been soaking. Now you want to put the top on that Kevin just made, or your ball jar tops. You can get them online, but like Kevin was saying, it's actually cheaper to make them yourself.
Yep.
But this is the one that we've had that you can purchase online. Once they're soaked, you want to give them a really good rinse. You want to rinse them about 2 or 3 times.
What do you rinse them with?
And we're rinsing them with the ocean grown again.
Okay. Now you don't have to continue to use the ocean grown, but we just like to because it allows us more opportunity to get more minerals across the surface of these things, these seeds.
Gathering them all up.
And look at that! It just comes right out.
It comes right out. And you really want to, after you rinse them 2 or 3 times, I've already rinsed them, but I just wanted to show you that. After you rinse them 2 or 3 times, you really want to give it a good shake so the seeds get down and you get as much water out as you possibly can. And then you want to put them on a rack to let them drain.
This is just a regular dishwasher rack here.
And you want to rinse them again 2 to 3 times per day.
Great, just like you did right now.
Just like I did right now.
Where do you put them? Do you put them in the sun?
You want to keep them out of direct sunlight. They can be in the shade from when they're in seed form, when they're still like this. But when they start to germinate, which is normally 3 to 4 days into it, then you'd want to put them in some indirect light.
So when do you eat these?
About day 6.
Okay.
Kevin will probably start munching on them sooner, but
That's a long time.
about day 6 they should be ready to eat. Once they're done growing, well, they'll continue to grow, but about day 6, and if there's holes on them, you want to take the holes off. And by doing that, you can just soak them in water, and either the holes will just float up to the top, or you can pick through them with your fingers. And then you want to store them in the fridge, and they'll last up to a week, maybe even longer in the fridge. But before you store them in the fridge, you actually want to dry them really well. So this is a salad spinner. You put it in here and you spin it around a couple times, or you can put them in a nut milk bag and you have fun with it, and you can whip the nut milk bag around.
Wow, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, to dry them really well, and then they'll store in the fridge up to like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Okay, so my fun little invention here, because we're trying to figure out how we're going to do this when we're moving. Right in there.
Right.
And these guys will go right under here.
The only requirement for this is that the dishes are done.
Yes.
There it is.
There it is. And they're not going to go anywhere.
All right, guys, this is so easy. You got to do it at home. Your question of the day is going to be, what is your favorite sprout? Go ahead and post it down below. This is Kevin Gianni, and
Marie Gianni.
Together we can change the health of the world, one show at a time.